Welcome to the Product Biz Made Easy podcast, where we help you scale your product-based business. Your award-winning host and serial entrepreneur, Becky J. Anderson, created an 8-figure product-based brand that was sold all over the world and in big box retail stores. Each week, she will be sharing sales strategies, marketing advice, or inspiring interviews to help you scale your product-based business. Now, on to the show.
Welcome back to Product Biz Made Easy podcast. In this episode, I am thrilled to introduce you to Annie White Brown, and she is going to share with us her story of how she was able to leave her 9-to-5 job and work her product-based business full time. You'll learn all about how she was able to nail down her unique selling proposition, how pop-up shops helped her grow, and how she uses Instagram and Instagram storage to leverage her sales. So without much further ado, I am so excited to introduce you to Annie White Brown. Welcome to the show, Annie.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I am so excited to share your story with everybody because I've been following you for quite a while, and you're in the Product Biz Made Easy Facebook group, and I've been watching your journey, and you just left your 9-to-5 to pursue your product-based business full time.
Yes, ma'am. Fresh out of corporate.
Oh, we are so excited to hear that story. So let's start with how you started your business, and we'll work into how you ended up quitting the 9-to-5 and where you think your business is headed.
Sure. So I started my business, the idea of my business started back in 2014 after the birth of my first daughter, Tiffany. Tiffany was born with spina bifida and hydrocephalus, both unexpected. We had no idea prior to birth that, these issues were going to be, present. So you can just imagine the shocker.
What a surprise. Yeah. What a hard thing too.
Yeah. It was a tough time. So after she had to do a number of surgeries because of, the spina bifida to close the opening on her spine. And then later she had to do a brain surgery for a shunt placement for the hydrocephalus. So, she was on a number of meds, and once we came home, her skin started to break out. And we were prescribed a variety of medications to help that, but nothing was working. So I grew up in Jamaica with my grandparents, and my grandmother was here with me in the U.S. At that time. So we kind of just went back to what we were used to, herbs and oils. So just started mixing essential oils and shea butter. Shea butter was like the key formula to what we used on our skin. Excuse me. And it worked. It worked, and we kind of just stuck with it. And then I really just became kind of obsessed with essential oils. I joined an essential oils company, doTERRA. Mm-hmm. I started selling essential oils. I was teaching essential oils. I was having make and take parties, and then I enjoyed it. So then I figured if I'm going to be sharing, oils with people, I would need to know more about the oils. So that's when I went and enrolled in an essential oils course and became a certified aromatherapist. So that kind of pushed me even more into start making all the things. I was making everything around the house at this point. House cleaning products. I was throwing out all the bleach and all the toxic stuff, making our skin products. And then I started sharing those same products with my family and friends around me, and they started to like it. So one day a friend of mine actually, I started making like face products, and I made a lot of face scrubs back then, and she loved it. And I would always have to blend her essential oils a little different for her face scrubs. So one day she said, you really should put a label on this and start selling this stuff. And I said, what? You think? So I thought about it, and then I started, selling my little scrubs and butters, just pretty much locally. And then I even forgot the exact time when we kind of moved into my first Etsy shop, but probably a few months later, I jumped onto Etsy. So I was making all the things, making all the things, doing my product photography with my phone. I felt so exciting back then. You should see my photography back then. Looking back at it now, I'm like, whoa, what is this? But it was fun, and I was really enjoying it. Um, so that's really how Natural Annie Essentials came about. The making of the products came
That's
about.
great. It's amazing what our children push us to do, because I started my business because I came home and saw one of my daughters driving on a tractor, and I didn't want the kids working on tractors because they were girls. So
Yeah.
it's amazing how businesses start that way. It's like it's typically a lot
Yeah.
of times for our
Yeah.
children.
It is. And I mean, I started all of this in my kitchen. I would have the baby there, my husband in the other room, and at one point it just became overwhelming, and he came in one day and he said, well, I don't think you're going to be able to make all this stuff in the kitchen much longer. It's just too much. So we kind of moved it to the basement, after kind of pretty much took over his man cave. he wasn't he wasn't too pumped about it, but we kind of set up a section in the basement where we could make the products that we were doing. So we just kind of grew little by little from that time until now, and we're still making products out of our home here in Connecticut.
Well, you better watch out, because that's how I started. I was in the kitchen, and then I moved to the garage, and then the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how it starts, and they grow that way. And some of the most successful businesses started in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because we were just talking about it the other day, and it's the journey that it has become so fun and inspiring to me, because now I'm just excited to see what's next. Because it was from the kitchen to the basement. Now we're in the garage, so the next step is I'm pumped to see where we end up next.
So the products you sell now, you sell bath and body and candles.
Yes, we do sell candles now. Actually, we didn't add candles to the line until about 2 years ago, after a show we did in Brooklyn. And I really have to give credit to my husband, because he was the bright idea behind this. We did a show in Brooklyn, and most of the customers that came by, they were pretty drawn to us because of the scent from a lot of the products that we had. And everybody kept on asking for candles. And, there was a candle person there too. So we would just refer them to her. And then my husband said, you know what, we really should do candles too. I mean, since clearly everybody wants it.
Yeah.
And it was on our ride home. So he's driving from Brooklyn, and I'm Googling how to start making candles on my phone.
We jumped right in.
We jumped right in. We ordered our first kit that night when we got home on Amazon. And then we just started practicing from there. It was so quick. But it's been amazing. And today, candles are the number one seller in our shops.
Isn't that funny? Because your story parallels mine so many ways. Because I started Bath and Body, never considered candles until I had a customer ask for them. Mm-hmm. And we started the same way. And within a couple of years, candles had taken over, and we completely dropped the Bath and Body. So it's one of those things in business, you have to pivot. And I always say you want to go where the business is going to be, not where it's at. Yeah. Clearly for us, it was candles, and who knew it'd grow to a $25 million business,
Yeah. So, and that's amazing.
It's funny how our stories go.
And it's crazy because we never expected it to kind of blow up the way it did on the candle end, but that's really what the people want. And it's been, we just kind of had to adjust to that. Yeah. And as you said, kind of go in the direction that they really want us to go.
Well, and you have a really unique selling proposition with your products and your packaging. Do you want to talk about that? Because I think that's one of the things that really helps you be successful is you're telling a story with your packaging and with your product. So tell us about that.
Thanks. Now my packaging, that's always the first thing people see before they even know what we're selling. And it's always that one thing that kind of draws them over. I'm from the islands, Jamaica. And so I'm really drawn to bold and bright colors and plants. I'm also a plant addict. So I love florals, and colors excites me. So I really was going for something that was going to be, bright for my customers, something that would make them not only feel good and look good, but also smell good. And I feel like the my packaging kind of pulls that out. And my customers, they always say one of the things that gets them so excited is seeing a package from me pop up on their doorstep. It's like getting a present at Christmas. Um, so that I kind of just sticked with it because it makes them happy and it makes me happy. And that's the exact feeling that I really wanted for my customers.
That's really nice. And, one of the things that really makes brands take off is having that unique selling proposition. And
Yeah.
you've got it. You've nailed it. That's great.
Thank
So
you.
at what point did you realize we really have a business going here where this could potentially support the family? And hey, I might want to quit my 9 to 5. I mean, what was that like?
Well, quitting I feel like mentally I left my 9 to 5 about 4 years ago when I started the business, or the moment I actually went back to work. The moment I actually went back to work, because it was so difficult after leaving, because we spent about a month in the hospital and then we were constantly back and forth with Tiffany. So having to go back to work, leaving her, although it was with my grandmother at the time, it was hard for me to just be there knowing that I have a sick child at home. So, and I think looking back, it made me very angry. So I kind of always just pushed to see however I could get out of that spot to be home with her or to be more available for her. So yeah, and that really pushed me to do more for the business, and I just started working more at it. And I was getting customers. So yes, I said, hey, I guess this is really something. People were constantly shopping and just doing pop-up shops. And I feel like pop-ups really kind of nailed it in for me because people would actually come up and buy stuff. So it's kind of like validation. So
You could see them and talk to them.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like, yeah, this is something that people want and they like it and they keep on coming back. So I just kept on building on that constantly. I was like day in, day out, I would go to work and I'm there. I'll do my job, but I'm doing natural and essentials up here in my brain. Like
Yeah.
nonstop. I'm working at it. If I'm on my phone, I'm always working at it. So it's just one of those things. And at that point, I knew I didn't want that corporate life anymore. I wanted that freedom to do whatever I want with my kids. So the opportunity came. So when was it? Last year, I had my second daughter. Last year, Thalia. And while I was out, I believe a notice went out for the company. They were moving my location, and it was, I think HR had called me at the time, letting us know of the move. And she sounded so sad on the phone, like it was like almost death, like she was calling to tell me something so bad. But after that phone call, I was so excited. It was just something inside of me. It was that out that I needed. And the fear all this time, I didn't know how to leave my job. So the job moved. They offered to relocate us. The offer that they actually presented was really lucrative. Um, but I just said no. I said no. This was the end of my journey in corporate.
Yeah.
And I kind of, that was just kind of it. So I just did my time. And September 28th was my last day there. And I've never been happier. I've never
Wow.
been
I
happier.
can only imagine what you went through, taking care of kids, working full time, and building a business. to get to be like what your business is, because you have done incredible with it. And if everybody looks at your website and they see the products you have, and you do all the design work, you do
Yep.
all the manufacturing and making, and yet you've still been able to do this and build it. It's great.
And I feel like I was successful at doing it because I enjoyed doing it. Like designing labels and the packaging, that was so much fun for me. Um, I think I do that in my downtime, so to speak.
That's
When
what I did too.
yeah, like for to relax,
Uh-huh.
I'll just be making design. I'll be designing a label or creating content for social media. I love doing that stuff. So it was like
Yeah.
nothing for me.
Yeah, when we do what we love, it's so much easier. And my husband used to say to me all the time, because that was the way I would be too. The downtime, you're creating or shopping trends or looking
Hmm.
at competitors or working on something,
Yeah, it's
for the
always
business.
something.
But it's so much easier when you love. So it's great that you're in a full-time position now to do what you love. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, right around the clock.
So for the listeners that want to know how you've been able to grow this, tell us, how do you market your business? What do you do?
Social media is actually my number one.
And
Instagram
what
is
platforms? Tell us the platforms that are your number one that you
so I'm currently on Instagram. I actually started off with Instagram. I started with Instagram and then I recently kind of jumped into Facebook and Pinterest. But so far, Instagram has been my number one platform. It drives majority of my sales, and and Facebook now kind of picking up also with Pinterest. So
that's
those
great.
are my three.
So on Instagram, are you doing stories and the grid, and are you doing the IGTV as well?
Yes, I started IGTV. I think I have about 3 to 4 videos up on IGTV now, and actually I was working on another video to go up today, so that's coming out pretty soon. Um, so I do both the grid and the and stories and IGTV. But as you know, Instagram has changed so
So
much, so
much.
it's it's so hard keeping up with it, but it's fun. I find Instagram fun. Just one of the things I'm really going to push now, that I do have all this time, or not so much all this time, is jump into live videos, because everybody's talking about live videos, and that's really where it's at. And really getting in more in front of my audience,
Hmm.
because I do realize that is really, really important. And that's something I just never had enough time to do.
Yeah.
So I'm really going to go ahead and push forward with that much more now.
So it would be fair to say most of your sales are coming from Instagram rather
Yes.
than Facebook. And
Yes.
is that true for your Google Analytics? Most of your traffic is coming from Instagram?
Yes. Yep. Currently, yes.
Wow.
It flips between Instagram and Pinterest sometimes, and Pinterest was one that I've never paid attention to for the longest time. And I think it was you too that I heard talk about Pinterest some
Mhm.
time ago, and I really kind of looked into it because everyone uses Pinterest,
Mhm.
but we never think to put our stuff on there. So when I started using it strategically, I really have noticed
Yeah.
the difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say most of my clients, Pinterest is their number one traffic driving, which is interesting because they always assume it's Instagram. But when
Mhm.
we dig into the Google Analytics, Pinterest is a great, great traffic driver. But I think it's good that you're able to get the sales off Instagram. So
Yeah.
are you doing any advertising at all? Any Facebook ads, any Instagram ads, or Pinterest ads?
I've dabbled in some Facebook ads, not too much to really have a lot of success from it, but definitely will be working on more Facebook ads. And it's great because Facebook ads kind of splits with Instagram, so
Mhm.
that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
I've done a little Pinterest. I've seen traffic from it, but not a lot of sales from those ads just yet.
Yeah, from Pinterest. Advertising is a great way to get traffic fast, and
Yeah.
the targeting is so incredible. So
Hmm.
yeah, just
Yeah.
wondering if you've been able to do that. So have you worked any trade shows?
Yes, I have done. Well, I did my very first trade show actually. My wholesale trade shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wholesale trade show in September down in Orlando. It was pretty good. It was our first one. It was so much more than we thought because we've done a lot of shows, retail shows, but this one was a whole new ball game. Just the whole preparation to get there, and the setup and what's expected. But it was a great experience. It was a really great experience. We did make a lot of connections that we're still working on. So one thing I did realize, it's not an easy sale
Mm-hmm.
for trade shows,
Right.
but shows like those, it could take months to really like start reaping the benefits of it.
Yeah, and part of working those wholesale trade shows is getting your expectations in line. So when I started doing the wholesale trade shows, I thought I'm going to come home with hundreds of orders.
Yes.
And I came home with like 6 orders. And it's
Uh-huh.
like, oh, but you know what? It takes time and it builds, but it's the connections you're making and they're becoming aware of the brand. And
Mhm.
it's the best way to scale from a wholesale level. And it's the way to run into the big retailers that you want to sell to as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean, we didn't, well, as you said, you run in expecting all these orders. We didn't get the numbers that we wanted, but the amount of information that we got, the my husband said it was wholesale university.
Yeah.
It truly was, because the stuff we learned, it was amazing, and we wouldn't have, learned it if we were just here. And I'm going to put something together pretty soon. I'll definitely keep you posted, like a recap of the whole experience, and kind of,
That'd be great.
yeah, kind of, the expectations and what it was like, because I do get a lot of questions on that. So I'll definitely be putting something together um,
Yeah.
for that.
That's great. Well, I'm glad that you're wholesaling. I think it will help you scale a lot quicker, especially since you've got the products that people will like and you've got the programs put together. That's great. So
Yeah.
tell me what you do on a product development perspective. How often do you release new products and how do you do that?
Well, so far we I've usually I did about once a year I would add a new product to, say, my Bath and Body line. But with the candles in the mix, I've been doing a lot more addition with scents and seasons. So kind of adjusting to the seasons. Now we do so currently, like right now, we recently released our fall collection, and hoping to release another set of new scents, say early January, um, going into the new year. So I would think for candles, it's more it's like we do more for the candles
Mhm.
than we do for the Bath and Body stuff, and really it's just going off um, the purchasing, what customers are buying, and what they're asking for.
Yeah.
And really, they're they're asking for cents, so we're just pumping those out. We're pumping those out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, typically the way we did it, we would launch new products in January and like June,
Hmm.
twice a year. And so you launch your seasonal and all that. But yeah, you're going to find that as you do the seasonal and the occasions and events, it'll really add to your everyday sales because
Yeah.
people always are looking for stuff like that. So you're smart to do that. So I'm assuming you're knee deep in pumpkin right now, right?
Oh yeah. Pumpkin and cranberry and all the things.
Uh-huh.
Pumpkin and cranberry is going like wildfire, and it's great.
Pine will be a big one.
Yes, that has been going too, because we do have a scent Christmas tree that is high in pine. It
Yeah.
literally smells like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, we always had people like at this time of year want the pine.
Yeah.
Cinnamon is another big one.
Oh yeah.
Clove.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah. We have all those mixed in the both the pumpkin crush and the cranberry spice. So
Yeah,
those are two really yummy ones.
that's good. So tell me this: do you have a mentor, or have you used a mentor to help you build your business?
Pro- Product made easy. Your your product made easy. You are my my backbone. What can I say?
I did not tell her to say that.
No, you are like, you have been such a great help to me. And, but yeah, so you help me out a lot, and I do get a lot of, you are my mentor, believe it or not.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that.
In my mind, you are my biggest mentor.
Oh, sweet.
But the group has helped me a lot. And, talking to local shop owners and local business owners, kind of getting ideas, bouncing ideas off each other, and a lot of Facebook groups. But
It's fun to have a group like that where
yeah,
everyone is in the same situation and they'll
yeah,
all jump in and help each other. I love that group too.
yeah, and that's how I actually found the group, because I was on YouTube. I was searching um, for people who have done this before. And I came across you, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she did exactly what I'm trying to do here. And it was amazing. And I was hooked ever since.
That's
So,
awesome.
so anytime I have a question, I'm like, well, what would Becky do here?
I love that. Well, thank you. That's awesome. I wasn't fishing for that, but that's great.
No, but it's really true, though. I adore that group.
Oh, that's great. So, what would you say one of your current struggles is now that you're not the startup anymore, you're at the growing stage? What are some of the struggles you have now at this stage?
Time, believe it or not, is still
That's the number one
high
I
on
hear.
that list, because it's really so many moving parts to what we're doing. Because you're doing the marketing, you're doing the sales, you're doing the shows. It's everything that you're kind of do. So right now, my main focus is trying to delegate. Well, actually trying to find the right person to help to be able to delegate stuff to.
Yeah,
That will actually free me up to do so much more,
yeah,
because I feel like my mind is always going and there's always something I want to do. But sometimes I have to like take a step back, because it's really just me doing all this stuff. So time is number one. So I really
yeah.
have to kind of scale things to be able to do
That's
things
funny
and
you
do it
say
right.
that. That's the number one thing I hear is time.
Yeah.
People don't know how to spend their time or how to organize their time and to drive it forward. And then also building a team too, getting the dream team. And that takes time too,
Yeah.
because
It does.
work up to it.
It does, because and it's hard, because it's kind of like your baby. You've been building this thing for so long, and to find someone to be able to do it how you would like to do it, or do it better than you, it's hard to find the right person.
Right. And it does take time and it takes trial and error, but you're going to get to the point to really scale into the big numbers. You
Yeah.
got to have people making your product, the whole bit. So you're
Oh
spending
yeah.
your time in your zone of genius, and that's creating products
Mhm.
and selling products,
Yeah.
building a dream team. Have you tried hiring interns?
I've hired interns in the past, and they've done a good job. So I'm looking into actually working with my local university to see if we could get some more interns on board to help with social media and stuff like that. I do have help though with like the making of products, so that's good. My family jumps in; they're a big help. They're behind the scenes, but they're a big help when
That's
it
good.
comes to making the products. Because even the bath and body stuff, they're pretty straightforward with what we use. But when it comes to candle, it's time consuming, because you
Yeah.
have to wick the jar, you have to label the jar, and then you have to put the little safety sticky on there. So it's a lot of little steps.
Right.
So those I can easily hand off. I have my mom wicking jars, my sisters wicking jar, my dad, everybody's just sitting wicking jars.
I
Um,
started that way too with my family. It's how you start.
oh yeah, we make a party out of it. I'm like, hey guys, we have jars and wine tonight. so so we make it work. We make it work on that end. But as I said, yeah, the book parts of it, those I really have to kind of delegate.
Yeah. So are there any tools or resources that you really like and enjoy and use you'd want to share with the audience?
Canva. What would I
Yeah.
do without Canva? I love, love, love Canva. And I think I almost create everything in Canva. I My labels are made in Canva. I make all my labels in Canva. I make my catalogs in Canva. I make letters in
That's
Canva.
awesome.
Sometimes I forget that I can actually use Word to make these things, but it's so easy to use, and it's fun. So I use Canva a lot, and I also use. I'm just getting into Trello.
I love
I'm
Trello.
I'm still not 100% sure how to use it yet.
I'm in
yet, but
Trello right now,
oh really?
doing your questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to spend some time on Trello because I need to get my days now that I have a full day to myself. I need to really have blocks and chunks of my days booked for certain things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the day will just slip by me like nothing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. So tell us, Annie, where do you see your company in 5 years?
In 5 years, I know for a fact that, well, not for a fact, but I could see myself in a warehouse, and my products in Whole Foods. Whole Foods is big on my list. Some of the bigger chain stores, um, and just having people use my product, like so much more people. My goal is to have, well, I can't say all people, but I would hope all people can use my products and just experience it for themselves. Because sometimes you think you are doing one thing, and then you're when you talk to your customers, or then you'll get this email, and it's something totally different. I have a customer, I because we do make like for the bath and body stuff with my body wash. I know it's a great body wash, and I my intention was for someone to feel super relaxed when they use it with the eucalyptus, ginger, and spearmint. But then I had a customer, she reached out to me, she goes, I actually look forward to going home to showering with this body wash. The way it makes
Oh,
me feel at the end of the day is amazing. And the packaging, she loves it. So it's just the way people describe these things. I'm like, I feel like everybody needs to experience this.
it
you
keeps you
know,
going. That's
and
awesome.
it keeps me going, and it
Yeah.
drives the fire in me. And sometimes I'll be reading these emails at like 2 in the morning, and I'm like, wow, I need to get up and go make more right now. So just having as much people use my products and experience it for themselves, and really hitting some of those big box stores.
Oh,
That's
that's awesome.
that's one of my goals.
Well, is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't that you feel like our listeners that are trying to build a business and get to that point where they can quit their jobs need to know?
I'll, as I say to everyone, like I come across so many people that are that are in this position. They're trying to quit their job, um, or they don't even know that they really want to quit their job. Not everybody really wants to leave their job, but they want to start a business. I just say go for it. Like now is the time. Like go for it. Just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're not perfect. And even the most successful companies that we'll look at, they don't always see themselves as being perfect. So start small. Ask questions. Find the right people. And I feel like that is key, because once upon a time I used to just ask anyone who looked like they had a business, and not everyone advice is good advice, and you really have to be able to pick the people that you surround yourself with. That's really important, because this is a big mindset game too.
It is.
So
Mindset's
really,
everything.
oh yeah. So really surrounding yourself with the right people. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of even with you, I still ask you some questions. Sometimes I'm like, whoo.
And you know,
That
it's
was,
funny. We all do. I still ask people
yeah,
questions because you look at it this way. You already have the no. You might as well ask. You're going to get the yes.
exactly. So ask a lot of questions. And try to break out of your comfort zone. It's still something that I struggle with, because I don't like video, for example. I don't like video. I'm not comfortable in front of video. But the more you do it, the more you get comfortable at doing it.
You're right.
So
Well,
just keep at it.
such good advice. And you know, one of the things one of my business coaches said, and we all have coaches, she said, you know, that the thing that separates people that really make it versus the ones that don't are the ones that take the action. And if we all went back and looked at our beginning stuff on video or our beginning products or website or whatever, it's like, it's not that great. But the key is we took action, and that's what everyone needs to do. And so she would say to us, don't worry, be crappy. Like the don't worry, be happy should say. And she'd play that music, don't worry, be crappy, because getting something crappy out is better than never getting it out. And I had a client who I worked with that when she came to me had been working on a business for 2 years and never pulled the trigger and put her website live or launched. She was trying to make everything so perfect. And I'm like, look, turn it live. You have to. It's like, you just absolutely have to.
And perfection is a big killer.
It is.
I remember too when because currently we have our shop platform on Shopify. We love it. And prior to that, when we were on Etsy, I had the site, I had it built. I built it. But I just wouldn't hit that live button.
Wow.
I kept on going back and just nitpicking on the dumbest things, and just holding it up. And I reached out to a friend of mine and I asked her, can you look this over for me one more time? And she said, why are you not live yet? I said, well, I'm just waiting for more stuff. And I couldn't even say what I was waiting on. I just know
fear.
The fear and perfection. I'm like, I just did it one night at like 2 a.m. I said, you know what, this is enough. And I just went live. It didn't work as smoothly as I was hoping, but then I fixed it along the way.
Yeah, you just tweak as you go. And you know what? Action's better than no action.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. And it's what moves us forward. And if you find any successful person, they've all been through the same thing and probably still continue to struggle with it. But we don't grow if we're not uncomfortable. So very good advice. Well, Annie, you are so sweet for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. And I'm sure our listeners will love all the information that you've shared. So tell us, where can we find you?
My online store is naturalannieessentials.com. I know it's it's a long one, but NaturalannieEssentials.com. Also, we're on Instagram. We're at Natural Annie Essentials. And we're also Natural Annie Essentials on Facebook and Pinterest.
Awesome.
But a lot of action takes place on Instagram.
Yeah, a lot of action. That's awesome. All right, my dear. Well, I really appreciate you being here, and you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Becky, for having me.
You bet. Thank you so much for listening to Product Biz Made Easy podcast. Now, don't forget to hop on over to BeckyJAnderson.com and grab your free strategy roadmap, as well as check out all the resources and things that there are over there to help you grow your product-based business. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Product Biz Made Easy podcast. Now, don't forget to hop on over to BeckyJAnderson.com and grab your free strategy roadmap, as well as check out all the resources and things that there are over there to help you grow your product-based business. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.